Wagwan people, it's your boy Mo, aka The Hoop Genius. Now, a lot of you lately have been on Netflix and you've been asking me if I've watched the Malice at the Palace documentary. So we've gone one step better than that. We've got Ron Artest, aka Metta World Peace, aka Panda's best friend. We've got his agent in for this week's episode of the podcast. That's right. We sat down and chopped it up. And I asked the question that everybody on YouTube wants to know. Who's Jake Paul going to fight next? And will it be Ron Artest? So enjoy this segment of this week's podcast. You can check out the full thing in the description below. Subscribe to this channel. We're on the road to 5K. On the road! Help me out here. We're also trying to get the podcast numbers up too, so check out the links in the description. Spotify and Apple. Subscribe on there. It's also on whatever podcast service you use. Check those out as well. But this is what Ron Artest's agent had to say about his reputation and his future potential boxing career, and if he would step into the ring against any of these YouTuber kids. Okay? So, enjoy it. Let me know who you think would win, because I said that Ron Artest would murk any of these YouTubers, but Lawrence says that these YouTube kids are very good at boxing, which they very well might be, but Ron Artest is Ron Artest, bro. We've seen Malice at the Palace. Come on, let's just be real. Come on, man. I can't even get my words out. I was disgusted at that comment. Ron Artest over any of these YouTubers. That's what I'm saying. What are you guys saying? Comment below with your predictions if this fight was to happen. But here is what Ron's agent had to say about the entire situation. Do you have any challenges, because a lot of casual fans, I guess, casual fans, if you say the name Ron Artest to them, two things spring to mind and they're not necessarily the most positive things. So we'll phrase it like that.
Put it this way, he grew up in the palace and you grew up in the palace. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? Do you ever encounter, because obviously your job is to market these guys and represent them and do their publicity. Do you experience any challenges? Does anyone you ever try and collaborate with or work with have an initial reaction that isn't what you would quite expect? Or are those incidents kind of forgotten about now and have been moved on from?
At least at the moment, I think most of the stuff's kind of moved on. Ron switching his name to Metta, I think kind of did give a little bit of cushion between the two. And I think just most of the stuff that he works on in his own personal projects, whether it be this app or his clothing brand, I think he's tried to kind of distance himself from his past. And just firsthand, I can tell, his day to day, it's kind of crazy to think that that's who he was, because it just seems so unlike him. But there are days, not necessarily with him, but there are situations where it's I am very I'm not gonna lie, I'm a strict mom on my clients. Where wow. I'm a very strict mom on my clients, where it's just I'm always kind of just retelling them hey, be aware that there's always cameras on you, that whatever you put out there is out there forever, other people out there putting stuff out about you. So yeah, I think I'm probably annoying to them, but I'm definitely that strict mom that's kind of just on top of them, be aware who's around you.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how important that role I think can be for a lot of people, because I think especially in the modern world, it must be a real challenge, especially for someone who's representing someone so big, that there all these different people want to get to them, but also people want to take so much stuff from them. You have to also be up on all these different ways that people can get to and from them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely think the younger kids almost have it harder. Now this generation, which I feel I've always heard that for years, where it's there's so many pros and cons to things being so accessible and cameras all on your phone and everything. So these kids do have a lot more to be careful, and they have so much more risk, because it literally takes one video of someone else to take this video, or security camera catching something that can ultimately ruin your career. So yeah, the challenges that come with progress, I guess.
Yeah, are you kind of pro, or what's your approach to social media with clients and those kind of people?
For the most part, I think there's a lot more positives than negatives. Because at least if you're doing it smart, that is a great brand opportunity. That's basically how a lot of people are getting endorsement deals and marketing deals, is by your following. So if you can and it's an easier way to connect with your fans. I do know a lot of these players that actually will go in their DMs and respond to people's DMs. If people ask them questions, or ask for an autograph, or it's I've seen players that like all will actually personally respond. So like it does kind of make that connection just like a lot closer, and like even fans being able to follow a person's like day-to-day life, where it's like, oh, this person is live streaming, or like they're on live right now, like what are they doing? It just kind of like breaks down that barrier of like TV to fan, where it's like it connects them a little easier.
I know we're running way over time because we've got so many questions for you, but I've got one more. Okay, I've got one more for you.
Of course.
Now, Metta World Peace, big boxing fan. On his Insta, he posts about boxing all the time. He was photographed with Dennis Rodman, but the legendary Mike Tyson, and I think Zab Judah was there as well, not too long ago. Now, my question to you, as the person who represents Metta World Peace, please, can you allow Metta World Peace to avenge our brother Nate Robinson, because the NBA world took a big L, and I feel like balance needs to be restored to the force.
You say this, but who's he fighting?
I agree.
Who are you picking here?
The kid who beat Nate.
Yeah,
no,
like
wait, he's
Paul Logan. Logan Paul.
Very, very close. I've got to admit, I'm impressed. Jake Paul.
His brother's fighting Mayweather. So
Logan's about to fight Mayweather. I feel like these two brothers have kind of got like some sort of boxing pedigree here. Can we as an NBA community not just, and I'm obviously coming from the YouTube community as well, the two worlds just need to learn to coexist. Stop.
We're not going outside like that though. Ask any hooper. If you take an L, you run it back. If you take an L, you run it back. We need to run it back. And then when we win, we can never do it again.
I get that. I'm not saying Metta World Peace can't do this, but I'm just saying, how many times do we need to run it back before we learn that the Paul brothers are very good at boxing?
They wouldn't be Metta World Peace though. Let's be very clear.
I also don't think they're gonna beat Mayweather, to be completely honest with you as well. So
bro,
I think they're gonna take
you know what?
that one.
They did pick the smallest NBA player ever, so
they did. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Having said that, I've seen Logan box. I've also seen Jake box, and if anyone knows anything about Mayweather, we all know this guy ain't no knockout artist, and he's taking part in a super exhibition, whatever the hell that means. So neither of those guys are getting knocked out. They're just securing the bag. Or this isn't a question. All I'm saying is, if you do get him involved in that match, just make it a super exhibition. Nobody's getting knocked out. You're just all making money.
All making money, exactly.
If you see the signs of Ron Artest in real life, these kids are running out of the ring. There's one thing to fight Nate Robinson. Metta World Peace, you don't want that smoke. That's what I'll say. But
I get that.
I agree.
I just feel like
I know I'm biased, but like, I mean, and the thing is, Metta is a huge boxing fan. And he said if he trained for a couple years, he would be willing to do it. So, and I think Metta could for sure beat him. I mean, Metta has a different mentality as well. When he's committed to sport, like, he's a different person when he's on the court. And I can only imagine, like, he is really close, good friends with Mike Tyson. So he's been open to going to boxing before. So I would love to see that actually.
And Snoop Dogg's just signed a deal to start his own boxing league where he's going to commentate. So if you're telling me you can have Metta World Peace with Snoop Dogg on the commentary, that's something I would love to see. But before we take,
amazing.
And then Robinson cheering on from the sideline. This is what I'm saying. This is what I was going to say earlier. Is the one thing that Colby has that no one else in the world has is, if anyone is ever disrespecting you, you can make one phone call. Just say, hold on. You know how most people is like, all right, I'm going to call my cousin, I'm going to call my brother. You can say, wait there for 1 second. Yeah, Metta, come down here. And then no one wants to mess with you ever again.
They hear you on the phone, and those guys, they're like, hold on a minute, I think she's saying something about world peace. And they're like, oh, don't worry, it's chill. Next thing you know, Ron's rolling up, and everyone's like, oh shit.
So, who have you got? Jake Paul, Ron Artest, Logan Paul? Which one wins? You tell me. Let me know in the comments down below. If you could see any boxing match between any YouTuber and any NBA player, who would it be? Let's get this going. Come on, you never know who might see the comments. Shout out to Nate Robinson. We do not mean to disrespect Nate. We got a lot of love for you. But come on, you know the levels in this game. Got to be up to back the beef. But until next time, my people, subscribe to this channel, road to 5K, please, I'm telling you now. Also, podcast in the description. Subscribe to the podcast too. In the meantime, you know the vibes. Get buckets.